Welcome everybody. Let's take a look what's going on in the market, and there's a lot going on. We're going to go through quite a bit here today. So let's start with the Dow Jones Transportation daily chart. Big, huge pullback. Yeah, all the way down to almost 14,800 there. Yeah, 14,812. Massive pullback. Look at this. A couple weeks ago, runs way up, gives it all back and some, right? Gives it all back and some. Yeah, wow. Okay, so big nothing burger on the Dow Jones Transportation. Now let's check out the Russell 2000. What do you know? Same scenario. Up, chop, down. Absolutely gave it all up. It was here. Ended up coming down and going below 2000, got as low as 1993. Wow. Okay, but we're going to look, this ain't over yet, right? This ain't over yet. Let's take a look at the Nike futures, Nike 225 futures. Oi, 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 look at that, kaboomski, all the way down to here. Got as low as 30,720. Yikes. Massive collapse. Okay. Now we're going to look at, where's all the money going? Let's look at J7. J7 futures is the Japanese yen futures. Ba-boom. You want to know where the money's going? Well, there it went. Going to the Japanese yen. Look at that daily chart. Massive run up. Okay. The 10-year notes is almost identical to the yen. Look at that. Boom. From way back here, July 2nd, it's been on a rampage. That's the 10-year U.S. Treasury notes. Okay. ZB is the 30-year Treasury bonds. Boom, boom. Same thing. Blast off. So people looking all worldwide looking for safety. Okay, you could go through the rest of the notes. I think there's ZT here. That's a 2-year. Same thing. Look at this. Almost exactly the same curve. Okay, ZT. I think there's a ZN. Yeah, the 10-year. Maybe I already did 10-year. Okay, same exact stuff. ZB, ZN, ZT, they're all the U.S. Treasuries. So you can see the Japanese yen took off, all the U.S. Treasuries took off. That's where all the money is. Okay. Let's take a look at the dollar. No, I'm sorry. Staying on the theme of where the money has gone, let's look at, I think it's E6. Yeah, no, not E6. 6E, sorry. 6E, that's a euro currency futures. Ba-bam. Wah, wah, wham. Way up here. Okay. Massive run up on that. All right. Now let's look at the dollar. The US dollar. The mighty dollar. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, Roggy. Collapse. Super negative territory. Not quite done yet, probably. Okay. Hang on one second. We're gonna look at a spreadsheet. Okay, just a quick spreadsheet I put together for some products. S&P 500 futures are all-time highs right here. The SPX index and NDX index, that's obviously NASDAQ. Russell 2000 and the Nike futures. There's the all-time highs are in this column here. Okay, right? Okay, and then today's lows here. Next row down. Here's the decline. SP 500 futures got as low as 10.5%, 10.5%. The cash SPX index got down to 9.71%. The Nasdaq NDX 15.73%. The Russell 2000 got smashed 13 1/3. And then all the ones that got smashed the most, look at Japan's crush, 27.8%, we'll call it. Ba-bam. So my take on all this is that yes, all the indices are down hard, and this daily cycle got lower than was forecasted. Okay, hold on one second. Let's go back to the charts. Which daily cycle am I talking about? Well, we were talking about that there's a cycle low forecasted for right in the middle. Let me get the right color here. Forecasted for approximately the 8th. Today is the 2nd, so this is over here. Be about right here. Okay, there's a cycle low right in this area, projected somewhere in this area, okay? So anyways, this low that we now have is much lower than was originally forecasted. That's the low I'm talking about. So there might be a little bounce here and then down again. You know, this thing may not bounce very much. It may not bounce a whole lot. We'll just see what happens. There probably will be some kind of bounce in here. But usually when you start, see how, it's really important to understand this. See this previous cycle over here? Here's the low. Okay, this cycle over here, this low here is for that cycle. That one. This low is for this cycle. Okay, and over here, your low, well, there really wasn't one. It just kept on rolling, see? Now we're in this cycle and the low is right here. Okay, that's a big deal because if I draw this line from this low, blomp, blomp, we're significantly below it. See this? Okay. So probability, just speaking from probability wise, this next cycle, this one over here, has a good chance of failing. So let's just say, you know, let's just say this pops up now. Okay, we're over here, sorry, pops up like this, comes down, tries to go up, and then fails hard somewhere out there in October, November. Okay, might be something like that. Might get back up to 5,600, maybe. Okay, just whatever. But the chances, the odds are that this next cycle, the next cycle or two, is going to be weak. That's why that's significant when you see a low get below the previous low. So in other words, this monster mash that's been going on forever and a day, even before this actually, it may be over. Okay, it may be over. That's pretty significant. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Okay, I've had these lines in there for a long time. Wait for this to happen. So it broke below 52.05. Pretty significant because you got 1, 2, 3, almost 4 support candlesticks right there. And it broke below that. Now the one below that is 49.59. That's down here. 1, 2, 3 candlesticks make up that support. All right. And, well, look at this, kids. Got a little gappy gap going on here with the with the momentum on the MACD. This doesn't look like it's quite finished yet. It might come down a little bit lower. Okay. So that's the weekly. October 13th. Looks like a cycle low to me. Right? Going back here. These cycle lows. One definitely right there. There's one definitely right here. There's one right here. This one's kind of jacked up. This one's kind of okay right here. All right. It's like that low right there was for that one. So these cycles look fairly decent, fairly reliable. That one's definitely on. 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 5, 6, 4 out of 6, or 5 out of 6, sorry. So 5 out of the last 6 cycles here look pretty spot on for timing. Okay. So I have reason to believe October 13th is approximately a good place. Accurately, it should be accurate for this weekly low that's going to be coming into here. All right. All right. One last look. We'll look at gold. What's happening with gold? Let's go back to the daily chart here. Gold. So gold had a nice little run up here, and then today completely ran out of gas. See, gold's not immune to the world having a collapse. Even gold pulled back super hard today, a range of 97. Got way up here to 25.22, and then profit takers said, that's it, we're done. You're done. And, it looks like it could be doing this for a while. Hard to say. So Japanese currency, U.S. Treasury seem to be the safe haven. And gold, we'll see. It's been very bullish for quite some time. It may just do this and do it again. Okay. But it looks like to me it may want to come down. It looks like it may want to come down for a while. But momentum is still very positive there. So gold may just be made its base, do a little pulley back, go back up, right? Like this. We'll keep an eye on gold. All right, let's go back to the S&P 500 futures, and we're going to look at the day. What were the trades of the day? Should be pretty obvious what they were, but we'll look at it anyway. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Just looking at the hourly chart. This is today right here. Look at this gap down from last night when it opened up. I mean, that was it. Once you saw a gap down, it was, I even said in the Discord server to all the members, gap down at the futures open. To me, that was the telling sign right there. You don't need any more information than that. And look at this. The SMI just stayed at the bottom the whole day. Momentum on the hourly chart just collapsed. Collapsed. Let's go look at the 15-minute chart here for a minute. Okay. There it is again. Same gap down right there. And look at this momentum. All the way from last week. Momentum on the 15-minute chart still negative, negative, negative. This whole, look at this. Days, negative. Friday, Sunday night, Monday, through most of the day, Monday, negative. Wow. Crazy. Negatory. So that even the 15-minute chart's telling you gap down, negative momentum, just stay to the short side. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. Okay, now specifically looking for GITTAS Plus indicators to tell you when to make a trade. Well, if you had to be paying attention last night, because last night was it. And there was 2 chances last night to get your act together and make some big bucks. Here it was right at the open. 10? Yeah, 505. There it is. There's your, let me turn on the GITTAS Plus indicator because some people want to look at that. Turn it on. There it is right there at 505. Bam, you get the plum candlestick. You just get in. It goes up a little bit, and the rest of the night is bombs away. Look at that. Down over 100 points just from last night alone. Look at this. Negative momentum the whole time. Wow. Okay. And then, if that wasn't enough opportunity for you, it happened again right here. It happened at 3:15 in the morning. Bam. What happens? SMI rolls over. Momentum goes negative. Bam. All the way down to 51.20. And there you go. And the market, kind of recovered a little bit, but got back up to 52.75. So, there's opportunity there too. But the big opportunity was twice overnight, huge profits, overnight, big money. And if anybody's going to ask me, do I think this is over? It's hard to say. What does over really mean? Do I think you should trade long? No, I don't. And I even though there might be a bounce here going into August for a little bit, I just, I don't think it's a good idea to trade long. I'm not going to dive too deep into what I'm doing. I'm not really in the marketplace, guys, right now, to be honest with you. I have some corporate bonds that are just doing their thing, but I'm not really actively trading equities or the indices or any of the futures right now. I have some other plans about what I'm going to be doing, and I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities to trade. I just don't right now. I'm not going to participate for a little while. I'm going to have my money working for me in other areas, just outside of the traditional market area. But I'll keep some bonds going just to stay active and keep a brokerage account open and so on and so forth. And if I feel like there's some really good opportunities, I might do some micro trading in there. Because I do think there will still be opportunities, of course. Today was obviously a massive opportunity. That's if the brokers weren't locking people out, which they did. There were several brokers that were down, and they basically locked people out for like an hour or two or whatever it was today. And the shenanigans begin, right? This happens every time you have these massive. I've been doing this a long time, and almost every time. Or not every time, okay, I'll be honest, but often enough to when there's big market pullbacks, and I'm talking about big, huge, crashed style pullbacks, suddenly people can't log in. Yeah, they can't log in. And of course, it's the same old BS lie. Oh, we had too much traffic, our servers crashed. The processor couldn't handle the traffic load. Oh, this, oh, that. Yeah, right, okay, But meantime, mysteriously, some boutique brokers can still trade. And mysteriously, block trades are still being done by BlackRock, the Fed's handlers, right? The ones that do all the illegal trading in the open market. But somebody waved a magic wand and told them it's okay to go do it. The Fed says, our mandate, what the hell is mandate? What is that? Is that what two men go do? Go on a mandate? Give me a freaking break. Our mandate is, these people are criminals. If you don't know by now that the Federal Reserve are criminals, your head's been buried in the sand for far too long. They are flat out criminals. That's right. I'm going to say it right here, plain and simple. They're criminals. They may be doing something that legislators say is perfectly lawful, right? And no U.S. Attorney General is willing to take them down, and the Senate's not willing to audit the Federal Reserve because they're a bunch of you-know-whats. They're criminals too, okay? That doesn't make it right. They are criminals, and they do some seriously shady stuff. And they got BlackRock doing some really dirty things for them. And, if you were to pin them down, they'd say, we're doing this for the good of the American economy. What a bunch of crap. Isn't it just interesting that they've been saying all along, we haven't met our goals for the last umpteen years since Biden's handlers have been in the DC occupying the White House? Because everybody now knows, right? Even you Democrats now know that Biden never really was president, right? I mean, yeah, he was a figurehead, right? You know that. At least for the last 2 or 3 years, the man was incapable of being president, right? I mean, if you're honest, this clown could never possibly truly be president. So we know that handlers are behind the scenes are the ones that are really calling the shots, right? And the billionaire socialists and their pals are the ones really calling the shots here. But these guys, they do criminal stuff, and they get away with it. I talked about this before. The U.S. House of Representatives, for those that remember, Ron Paul, out of Texas, retired congressman, one of the few good guys. He successfully got the U.S. House of Representatives to vote in favor of auditing the Federal Reserve, a full audit. This was years ago, decades ago already. And it was like an 80% yes vote. That means both Republicans and Democrats agreed the audit needed to happen. And the Senate, of course, shut it down. The Federal Reserve lobbyists came sweeping in there and handed over a bunch of money to the senators and told them, no, we can't audit this. If we open up the books on the Federal Reserve, all hell's going to break loose. They didn't say that publicly, but that's basically what they did, right? They came in, they paid the senators. The lobbyists took Federal Reserve money, which is American money, taxpayer money, right? Think about it. Think about where they got the money. They printed up some money, handed it over to the senators, U.S. senators, and U.S. senators said, okay, we're not going to audit it, right? So that's what happened the last time they tried to audit the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve went on a rampage in a campaign to say if you audit the Federal Reserve, it's going to be bad. Why would it be bad? It's going to be, their version of bad meant that something completely different than the American people's version of bad, right? We know that bad would have meant that we would have found out that they really are criminals. And they've been printing up money and doing really shady stuff and just handing people money and handing other countries money and doing illegal deals, right? Flat out doing illegal deals. And people would have gone to prison for it. And the Federal Reserve quite possibly would have been dismantled, which is what it should happen because it's not a federal anything. So this video is not just to harp on the Federal Reserve. I'm just highlighting one of the problems that we have in the United States of America, that our currency system is managed by frickin' criminals. They have their hand on the steering wheel of the bus, right? They're driving the bus. Now, I've talked about this before, and it's worth mentioning again because here we are with a massive collapse in the Japanese economy. And guess what's going to happen? You already know what I'm going to say. The American economy will collapse. Okay, if Donald Trump gets into the White House, it'll slow things down a little bit, right? He's going to do some aggressive stuff that's going to help because that's his nature. He's going to have a small U.S. government, which is one of the reasons why they hate him. So that'll help, but even President Trump can't really stop what's coming. Okay, if Camel Toe Harris gets in there, I'll forget about it. Open borders is only the continued open borders is only going to be the tip of the iceberg of the accelerated collapse of the American economy. So I project, and I said this on a Discord server today to members, I'm going to say it again here in the video, between the year 2025 or 26, somewhere in there, all the way through 2033, I believe the American economy is going to collapse. And I believe the stock market, the indices across the board are going to lose 50% or more, 50% or more from all-time highs. And I think the US dollar is going to be significantly devalued. It might hit new all-time lows, or it might be, I don't know, whatever, below $70, below 60. Okay, it's not going to be worth the paper it's printed on. I mean, I've said this before too, and what people don't understand is the US dollar is not worth the paper it's printed on right now. It isn't. The only thing that holds up the US currency is the American people's faith in it. There's nothing backing it, guys. Nothing. And I'm going to put a warning out right here and right now. If you have your the value of your portfolio is in cash, you're screwed. You will be screwed. Maybe not right now today, but it's going to happen. And if you think the value is in stock, well, the stocks are going to collapse. And then when you go to liquidate those stocks, what do you liquidate them into? You liquidate them into cash, correct? And that cash ain't can be worth crap. And I honestly believe that's going to happen. So I repeat, if you want to do the smart thing, you'll move your money into real estate or gold or something. And I mean gold as intangible gold, not this, I have a vault somewhere that says they have my gold. I have gold tickets. No. Don't be stupid. Okay. Tickets that what? They go poof and disappear? Yeah. Yeah, you want your hands on the gold. Or at minimum silver. Like real silver that you have in your hand. Okay, gold's better. Other than that, you want real estate. Okay, because you have a place to live. Yes, that's how bad it'll get. It's going to get so bad that If you own your house and you have the deed in your hand, you'll be grateful and thankful that you don't have to pay a mortgage. That's how bad it's going to be. If you owe a mortgage with any kind of significant balance, when the collapse comes, you may not be able to pay your mortgage off or pay your monthly mortgage bill because you may not be able to find a job. Okay? And I know I'm not just trying to be a fearmonger and say the sky is falling, but I've been talking about this for a while, and it's going to happen because all I got to do is look at the national debt, $35 trillion in debt, and I do not honestly believe the United States can be rescued. If God performs a miracle, okay, that's the one exception. America somehow turns back to God and asks God for forgiveness and makes really significant changes and gets away from being the gluttonous nation that it is and, does whatever, okay? If the people turn to God, yeah, I think there'll still be consequences, but yeah, God might perform a miracle. But, looking at the state of affairs of the morality in America, you gotta be kidding me. I think the odds of that happening are so significantly low. I mean, just look at Hollywood. People get married and divorced like within a year just so they can both make money and get their name. They leverage marriage. This is the world now. This is what people do in the world. They leverage a marriage to get something out of it. Not for love. They leverage it for popularity and money and all this crap. I know for a fact that there are people, immigrants that come in from other nations that marry for the sole purpose to get their residency. So they'll marry an American citizen or another person who already has residency just for the sole purpose to get their residency. And of course, they don't plan on staying together or living together. They're not in love. They just do it so they get their residency. Yes, it's illegal, but people are doing it all over the place right now. And I knew about this 25 years ago. I guarantee today it's 100 times worse. So I could tell you all kinds of stories and things that go on in the United States of America and all the shenanigans and the shady deals and the thievery and the stealing and the bribery and the blackmail that's going on at the highest levels, the lowest levels. Just generally speaking, the morale of the United States of America and the world over is so horribly low and crappy. I just don't see how it can be rescued. It's not going to be rescued. Economically, it's done. We're toast. All right. If you want to become a member, yay, real positive message today. But there's still profit to be made. As I said before, even though I honestly believe that the marketplace is at least partially contrived, it may still have elements of free market in it, but it's definitely contrived. But because of the element of free market is still there, and you can still extract profit out of it. So guess what? That's what we do. We extract profit even though we know that there's contrived nonsense going on, right? So we ride the waves. That's all we're doing. And there will be opportunities, continue to be opportunities in the stock market. There'll be continue to be opportunities in futures and commodities, all right, and options trading. But I do think at some point, wisdom says to get out of anything that would be liquidated into cash and to get into something that's more hard asset. That time might not be exactly right now today, but I think it's on the horizon in the next few years. Okay, if you want to become a member, there's a link in the description, $7.99 a month. Today alone was tens of thousands of dollars were made and tens of thousands of dollars were lost on small retail accounts. I guarantee it. It happened today. Those that were smart, that were prepared to trade short, made a bundle of money. Those that weren't and got caught with positions, well, they got screwed. But I do think there's going to be lots of opportunities. So if you want to join, like I said, join the description and the link for the Discord server is in there. There's streaming charts that are up live 5 days a week for the S&P 500, for gold, and a nightly email goes out every day, Monday through Thursday, where I put charts in the email as well as give my opinion about what I think the market's going to be doing the next day, okay? All right, that pretty much covers it for today. Hope everybody had either a really happy day of trading or at least stayed out of the market, okay? And we'll talk to you all real soon again next time.